Morning, everyone. So I'm milking the cows right now, getting the last group over. The cows kind of move out on their own. I kind of have to get them going a little bit. Then I just go and clean the stalls while they're walking out. Finished up the milking, got everything cleaned up. I'm gonna head out and check on these scrapers. So these scrapers have been working pretty good for us. It's definitely taken some work. I've had to try and work through some bugs. So what I found is every week it's good to just lift these up, clean them out really good, because the manure just starts to build up and it can cause problems. The issue the one week I had was this ring was starting to stick a little bit. You can see the manure's building up and it gets against that metal. This spinning part is there just so that when it rides along the wall, it doesn't have any friction and it can drive into a corner and just turn straight out of it. There's no actually spinning blades or anything. It's just a simple scraper blade underneath. They're made just to pick up and they sit on their back there so that you can get to the underside of them really easily. Hello? So I just got a phone call from our manure haulers. Last week we had done a little bit of injecting, but we're gonna spread the rest. And I guess they're gonna come today. I was expecting them tomorrow, but that's fine. This scraper's pretty heavy. I gotta make sure I keep my back straight and can lift it. So here we got our scraper blade. It's just a rubber blade. I also clean off the charging strips really good. Just get manure building up on those. I got it parked back on the charger. Do the same thing to the other one. So I'm gonna head to my office now. I'm gonna work at getting the field maps ready for the manure haulers so they know which fields to do. Dad got that tractor out, fueled it up because we're actually gonna do a little bit of mowing today. Mow some rye down. Just cloudy today, slight chance of rain. Not supposed to be too much though. Can't resist, I gotta knock down one jumper. Got a bucket. We're getting some stone today, getting that pad ready for ag bags. So I got all the field sheets ready to give to the haulers when they get here. They should be here pretty soon. I'm gonna help them get started. My dad had hooked up the disc spine already. I'm gonna have him drop the pump in right here. This is the spot we've had some trouble with manure getting dry and building up. It's right behind the milking parlor. It's a little finger of the pit. It's only 12 feet wide or something. We got these fine stones put in. Just a nice smooth pad for the ag bag. We're gonna cut the rye today. We wanna put the ag bag for that right here. And then the tray to cow, we're gonna fill most of that silo and then we'll make a couple more bags. We just had this ground up concrete, kind of rough stuff, uneven, and with a bag on that it's just kind of hard to scoop out of. We were thinking to get some smooth stones on here, it could help. Should be worth it. Oh, looks like the rig just pulled in. I'm gonna help him get set up. These guys have some sweet homemade pumps. The engine built right in. They drive themselves. So he's gonna get started, and then they have another couple more spreaders coming, I think, later. So they run 7,300 gallon tanks. I'll film them some then, but I'm gonna go get this rye mowed. Oh, I guess Dad didn't put the hoses on. I was pretty happy with how much liquid was in that pit that we opened up there. Sometimes it's not that easy. Just gonna be working across the road. We got 2 fields of rye. So that is triticale, which is a combination of wheat and rye. The advantage with triticale is it has a little wider harvest window. It is a little bit later in the season though, so it's not quite ready to go. We need to let that grow a little bit more. We got alfalfa right there. That's looking really good. So then this is the first rye field. I'm just trying to figure out if I should tighten the crimpers at all. So we had just a few acres of rye that I was hoping we could wait and cut them with the triticale. This stuff is definitely maturing quicker. You watch the heads, the grain heads, as they work up the stalk. Once they get out of the top, they start losing a lot of their protein content. You want to catch it before that grain head starts popping out. And I can feel it, it's right there, close to the top on a lot of these. Some of them you can see the grain head starting to come out a little bit. That's it right there, so it's just about out of the top. And we want to wait till next week for the triticale, and then this wouldn't have been very good feed anymore. So we figure we'll cut these 12 acres and then get that chopped up this week, and then we can do the rest next week. So we have these metal crimpers. After it mows it, it runs it through that to help it dry out faster. Want to make sure they're tight enough to crimp it good enough. So it's just a matter of turning this bolt a little bit more. Just got to loosen this and it'll drop it down closer. So you can see that line right there. I ran out of triticale seed. This is the last of the triticale, and then the rye on the left there. So I just got one pass left in that field. I'll get it on the way back then. All done. Didn't take very long. I did 12 acres today. We have 78 more acres of triticale for next week. We're gonna do that last pass in that field and then go park it. got a couple spreaders running now, and there's another one on the way. My dad's hauling that manure pile out right now. There's another guy showing up. I was just talking to him. We're gonna get this heifer barn pumped out right now. It's actually only about half full, but we figured we'll get it empty. They have some time today to mess with getting the pump moved around and agitating it. I'm just gonna park this tractor out of the way. So he's gonna set up his pump there, and then there's another guy coming with a pump. I guess they're gonna drop it in this end and mix both ends at the same time. I'm gonna get this opened up for the other guy then. There's a good bit of water that runs in this pit from the rain. There's also solids that get put in at this end, so the water ends up running to that end. So we found it's good to mix from that end first to kind of send the water this way and then drop a pump in here. Got all kinds of action around here today. Well, I don't see any liquid making it down to this end quite. There's liquid stirring pretty far down the pit. This is all liquid. Just when I get to the very end there, I don't see any. This is about where it stops. Close to the end. I'm just waiting for Dad. He's gonna help me get this gate off. So I counted 5 spreaders they have running right now. They're not messing around. 2 pumps up there and then 2 pumps actually on the heifer barn. They're gonna try pumping manure out of the far end to see if it pulls that liquid towards that end. We just found it to be a little too solid at this end of the pit. We're gonna have to get more water in there. We have the ability to divert that spouting into the pit to get it more water this summer. He's just gonna haul some out of the other end and make sure there's enough space till fall. I don't want to waste too much time trying to get it opened up completely. So I have this manure test kit. It's got a little bottle in here, and we'll get a sample of the manure, send it off to a lab, and they'll tell us the nutrient value of it, mainly the nitrogen content, ammonical and organic nitrogen. So we got this little bottle. Gotta figure out the best way to fill it. I think I'm just gonna climb up on top of the spreader when it's full, and I'll just dip it out. Got my gloves on. Well, the problem is there's some foam on the top of the spreader once it gets full. I didn't really want to dip into the foam. I gotta get something to dip into the pit with. Made a little cup to reach down in the pit. So I'm gonna head to the heifer farm now. We have a few to load up onto the trailer. So I'm at the pregnant heifer farm now. We realized we have a bunch of extra animals due this fall, and so we got about 10 or so heifers we should sell. We'd like to sell them now so we don't have to feed them. The barn's not gonna hold them anyway once they have their calves. So they're all out in the pasture right now. I'm gonna try to get them in here so we can sort out the ones we want. So I'm gonna try turning this conveyor on and see if I can draw them in if they think there's feed coming. If they're hungry, they will recognize that noise and start walking this way. Some of them are way out though. There's a bunch of them way out in the very far meadow. I gotta walk the whole way down there, I guess. Head into the barn, let's go. We have 5 picked out, I believe, that we're gonna sell today. We got 2 little small pastures there, and then there's 2 out this way that are about 2 acres each, so we can switch them back and forth. Just have these 4 wires that we have to flip across. I'm gonna do that now. Dead back the trailer in here. 2 of them just hopped up one that we need already. We're gonna take these to the dairy sale. They'll get picked up probably by a dealer, and then they'll end up selling them to another farm. They'll calve in this fall and then start milking. They're good animals, we'd keep them, we just have too many. Try to get one more on and then pen them in the front of the trailer. Yeah, 44, 57 we got, and 52.
39 and 55.
So we do genomic testing. That gives us something to help us decide which animals we want to keep or sell. So these are ones that are lower genomics. We also look at their moms. Probably wouldn't want to sell a great cow's daughter, but genomic testing just helps us decide a little bit. Yesterday I was picking out a bunch, and then we were looking at them and decided on 5 to sell today. 55. Come on, girls. 56. Close enough. She's got the green ear tag. Trying to see if I can sneak her on. Looks like Dad got one already on there. Right here. So I opened their pasture back up. Dad's gonna take them over to the sale. So yeah, now we don't have to feed those 5 all summer, and then we won't be so overcrowded this fall when we have all those calves coming. So I still have the disc bind hooked up. I'm gonna go back this into the barn and park it. We're gonna need this tractor for other stuff. Tomorrow we're gonna get the tedder. We'll have to go out and ted that rye. We'll use this tractor for that. So I just spent some time in my office. I was working on the milking schedule for May. Now I'm going to pick up some calf feed. We just got a tiny shower, just a little bit of rain, but they're still hauling. It just wasn't enough to knock down the dust. So they still got the 5 spreaders running, and they have 3 pumps in the pit, so they usually don't have to wait in line. Dad's gonna pull these pallets of calf feed off the truck, and then I can go check these fields. I want to see how far they're getting with the manure hauling and make sure we're gonna have enough manure. Last spring we sold our tractor and spreader. We used to do all our own hauling for 10 plus years. We had our own rig. Our equipment was starting to wear out, and once it was time to haul, we were so busy it was just kind of stressful and tiring. And you know, these guys would get done in one day. It would take us a whole week plus breakdowns, and our pump wasn't near as good at agitating the pit, so we wouldn't get the pit as empty. And it just makes a lot of sense to have these guys do the hauling. he's just getting started with that small field there. Back here is our biggest field that we farm. It's 23 acres. Yeah, I used to spend days working at this field. It's a couple miles from home, and yeah, coming in that rough lane with our old tractor was hard on the back. It is the next morning now, so they finished up that hauling yesterday. Now we have about 125 acres ready to plant. Still a little bit cold. They're calling for 30-degree nights the next 3 nights. Ground temps aren't that warm, even though we're getting close to May. So yesterday we mowed 12 acres of rye. This tedder just got delivered. We're gonna go spread it out so the sun and wind can dry it out. Our custom harvester owns this tedder. We were just renting it. I don't know if we need to adjust it closer to the ground or not. Watch it pop. Should we set it a little bit deeper? It's leaving a little skipper there.
Yeah, it's going down. You got good sunny weather, but it's cool, but at least it's sunny and windy. So he wants to get it spread out wide with not a lot of clumps.
Tell you what, we got a heavy crop because slip clutch keeps going if I go too fast. I had to slow down a little bit in this field. There's no rain in the forecast this week, so we should be able to get it within the next couple days. So we'll ted it again tomorrow. Pup was with me the whole time. She didn't even get bored or anything. She was just kind of chilling. So this is the field we injected manure in last week, and it's just a little bit rough to try and plant into this. So we're getting someone in with a Salford vertical tillage tool to smooth it out a little bit. You can just see there's some clumps, it's kind of rough. Yeah, that's doing a really nice job. We'll be happy with that. The conditions are good enough for planting, except it's cold out, so we're not in a hurry. It is the next day. My dad's tedding these fields again. Just wanted to stop out of the field and check it, see if it's drying at all. It's very chilly out, but sunny and breezy. Wow, it's actually drying. It feels good. So it's later in the same day. We weren't expecting it to dry as quick as it did. It's really sunny out, breezy all day. Just see how dry this feels. It's ready to go. They're actually here raking right now. Normally I do the raking, but it's only 12 acres. So the guy who does our chopping, he just brought his rake over. He's gonna rake it up quick. He got a new type of rake this year that is similar to one we tried last year. It's a rotary rake. So it's 5:30 in the evening. The ag bagger just showed up. I'm getting this tractor fueled up. I'll put that on there. Dad's finishing the feeding. We like to use the 7220. It's got a little bit more horsepower than the 7130. It's gonna be an 8-foot diameter ag bag. We got some nice fine stones laid out in this area. We're gonna be able to put a few bags for triticale later. But this one bag will fit right along here. We're putting in an ag bag. It's just convenient for a smaller amount of feed like this. So we are going to fill the silo in a couple weeks when we harvest triticale, and it's actually a good thing. We're about out of the triticale in the silo, so we're going to need something to feed. So I'm just waiting for the chopper. I'm going to give him the preserver, which is going to help stabilize the feed. I'm going to fill him a little bit, and then I'm going to go to a friend's house. I was going to watch the NFL draft tonight. Not that I really care about the NFL draft, but I wasn't expecting to be chopping tonight, but it's worked out this way. He's running a different chopper this year. It's just one size bigger. I don't know if the frame's a whole lot bigger, but it has a little more power. Klaus 850. So I got to run the tractor in neutral, and then the bagger will just push it forward slowly. There's a backstop behind the bag and cables that run back to it, so that's what keeps that pressure, and then it just forces that feed in, packs it in. They finished up last evening. It was just 8 loads. Got a nice 80-foot bag or something there. We have another about 80 acres of triticale to cut. We had triticale in that silo, but it got empty, so we're needing feed again. It's looking like really good stuff. It'll be kind of nice to be able to see how the rye feeds versus triticale, or triticale, however you want to say it. We're thinking next year we want to do a little bit more. We're probably going to try and do maybe 60 acres of each so that we have more spring forage. All right, thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next one.